some great speeches, some great heartfelt speeches. And so I'm going to start off serious and be a little bit playful, and we'll get back to seriousness. But I have to say one thing, is my mom was supposed to be here. She lives about 50 miles from here in a skilled nursing facility, and she was supposed to be here. And she was planning and planning and planning to be here. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here. But Ron is videotaping the speech. So part of this is to my mom, because she's my mom. Okay, just like Ashton has his mom. So and then we'll get into the more playful and fun part of the thing, and get into the other thing. But I was very disappointed today when my mom told me she couldn't be here. She's in severe back pain, etc. And I at my office at work, I have a picture of her, and she, and I'll say this, Mom, you gave me the most generous, positive, and fun person to be around, so thank you. And I appreciate it. And she always referred to Carolyn as her daughter-in-love, which was always a nice thing. So it just really, she's a fun person to be around all the time. And so now let's get to a little bit more playful and get back to serious. So now the rest of the speech is just going to be the normal love, gratitude, pickleball, and chess piece, okay? And Ryan's hair. So that's the rest of the speech. So that's it. So we'll get started, okay? First of all, dear Caroline, if you can stand up here. So Caroline, thank you for being the mother of Ashton, and we have two amazing kids. Chris is back here, so thank you, Chris. And she's amazing. Today we're going to talk about Ashton. But I have plenty of things to say about Chris. But thank you for providing, preparing, and protecting the kids. You've been great in your love of nature and your healthy loving of food and everything else. I think it's definitely transferred to both kids. And so that's good. And you kind of keep an eye on this, and you did all the heavy lifting, so thank you very much. So, and I think when you see your son get married to a catch, so it's a catch. You see, you think it's a validation, but it's really not us. We did a little bit, and maybe then social agency and other influencers and shapers from Ridge High School to Maryland come into play. And there's all these things that happen. He's his own person. But we still want to take credit for it all. But anyhow, the point is he's his own person. But on the high school standpoint, we know that he has Liam and Michelle, of course. They went to a prom, and they weren't dating. And then they went to another prom, and the Smiths were nice enough to have to the house. We have a section on them, so don't worry, we'll come back to them. So the point is, there's a lot of good people that influence him. So the high school people, but particularly the Workmans and the Jacobiaks. You guys were unbelievable in what you did for Ashton, and bringing them on trips, incorporating them, taking them fishing, because I didn't take them fishing, I know how to fish. I don't like fishing, I think it's boring, but you took that, so thank you. And then we get to, so a lot of great influences at Ridge High School, and Ashton and Nick and Chris wanted to form, it sounds outrageous. I graduated high school in 1979, and I had a computer class. Ridge High School doesn't have a computer class, so I said to Ashton and to Nick and to Chris, form a computer club. They didn't, and look what happened to them. So, whatever. So anyhow, so they didn't do that, and they turned out okay. But the point is, so great foundation there, great school. That's why we moved there. I heard we moved from California. That's where Ashton and Krista were born, and it's a great place. I only think of California a couple times a day for Mexican food. But other than that, it's a great place. So now we go to the University of Maryland, and University of Maryland, know your audience. So anyhow, University of Maryland, and I said to Ashton the other day, I don't tell him or Ashton, I don't tell Caroline or Ashton the speech, and they're nervous right now. So the point is I don't want them to change it. I want it to be heartfelt. I want it to be from me about what I think and feel. And Ashton, I said, Ashton, how much time do I have for the speech? He goes, you got 5 minutes. 5 minutes? How old are you? He goes, 27. Okay, we're done. So true story. So back to the University of Maryland. They go. He gets into the ACES honor program. Carol and I go to orientation, and we meet all these people. I remember Sydney, I remember everybody here, particularly Christian and Sydney, and I said, wow, you got so freaking lucky. He goes, Dad, I actually told them I like chess a lot and everything else, and that's why me and Kevin got assigned to the same. So, but anyhow, speaking of roommates, we come back to this into the room, is my roommate at USC, University of Southern California. John and Don are here, so thank you. John was my best man, and Don was on the way too. So, 40 years together. We talk once a week, and he's a great counselor, and Don's a great counselor. And so thank you guys, and thanks for all the influence you've had on me and indirectly on Ashton. So thank you. So, and they flew out here, and they love nature like you wouldn't believe. John is a big hiker. He's done 300 peaks just in California alone, and I think some of that spilled over to Ashton, and Michelle will get to that later. So that's kind of the high school and roommate section. Let's turn the page. Now we get to the SMICs, okay? So the SMICs are great, okay? So the SMICs are, they you know, Michelle certainly catch. The SMICs are catch. I mean, this is like, this is like a home run after home run, ninth inning. This is the perfect deal. You guys are awesome. And it's been so unbelievable how nice you've been to us, and we've never even had you to our new house. Okay? We live in a townhome. We're moving to a new.
Maybe there on Monday.
Exactly. We're building. News alert: we're building a house about 4 miles from here, and so the first people we're going to have over is the SMICs, because you guys deserve it. And not only have you welcomed Ashton into the family, you've got welcome Krista and Caroline, and even me, so thank you very much. The Thanksgiving speeches, you let me drink the last cup of wine. I mean, that's embarrassing. Like, I feel bad about that. I can't sleep. So those are embarrassing things. So thank you. We will have you over, and we're going to have you over to our new home, to have you in our kitchen, and out of our kitchen. What do I mean? I want to have you in our kitchen, in our physical kitchen, but I want to play pickleball where you're out of the kitchen. Okay? It's a pickleball joke. We'll explain it later. Watch the video. Okay, so back to the SMICs. So on June 22nd, 2013, the SMICs had us for a Polish party. And so for a day I was Polish. Today I'm Polish too. So here we are, we're at her house. It was a graduation party for Michelle. Annette, Alex, he came in from Colombia, and so I remember him very briefly. And so everybody's having a good time. I'm eating Polish food, drinking, doing what I do. We're having a great time. And I walk behind Alice, and she's talking about Ashton, so like ear person, and she's talking about how Ashton got into the University of Maryland, to the ACES program, and so she's talking about Big Ben. I think, wow, that's really neat. She's proud of them, and that's why I asked you so many questions about Carnegie Mellon and your engineering job and what you do to solve and everything else. It all interrelates because I care and love you too, and so because your mom did the same thing, so it's just awesome. So they recently hosted a bridal shower, which was unbelievable. Not because of the, axe throwing, that was great, but we came back and the highlight of the show was meeting Lauren. And Lauren was unbelievable. I could have just talked to her all night, and she was so imaginative. She was like so passionate. From his first side of the story, we knew Ashton's side of the story, so it was so awesome what she was saying about Michelle, and when she got the phone call about Michelle, except for we were skiing with Ashton, he wanted to rush home to see Michelle, and they never stopped dating. So, something like that. So the point is, it was fantastic, and I mean that. I wrote that in my gratitude blog the next day, so that was fantastic. Okay, of course, to play the audience, Zabu is in the deal. Zabu is in the house, and Kevin, thank you for taking care of him. And I knew we were hitting home run, and that we were really in the family when they let us babysit the dog. So it was great. And so, Michelle's done a great job of training and loving, and I think it's just really great thing. So there's hope for Ashton. So that wasn't right. It just came out. So anyhow, so we care about Zabu as well, and so we're building this house. Okay, just a simple house. We're building it. Instead of getting wood floors, we're getting luxury vinyl flooring. That's a fancy word for composite flooring, plastic. Okay, so we can have Zabu there, and you guys and our own dog. So that's it. And so that was great. So that's it, the Zabu section. Now we're into the Michelle section. Michelle is at the bottom of the list. My partner is Scrabble. So Michelle and I play against Ashton and Caroline, my wife. And we do pretty well. It is super competitive. I mean, it's scary. And so I think it's a lot of fun. I love games, and these two love games, but that's in the next section. But anyhow, but Michelle, there's so many things we can talk about, but you're the most gracious, thoughtful. Look at this wedding that you did. It's unbelievable. You're practical, you're smart, and you're beautiful, of course. And I think you're progressive. You'll allow Ashton to be a working dad. So I'm worried about that joke. I didn't know if it would come out. And I think it'll be great. So, and then I think it's great. You guys are, just great together. And she's hardworking, but enjoys having fun. And then this is the most awkward part of the whole speech. It's right here. She works hard and plays hard, has a great sense of humor. They just moved into a new home. We went to her home. It was fantastic. Of course, I walk in. All I want to do is just give her a hug. And Ashley says, "Look, she's cooking. Don't hug her." So, true story. And he made some unbelievable enchiladas. And it was great. They're great cooks. She's a great baker. On my birthday, she made my 60th birthday. I know I look old. The point is, she made a great cake that looked like books. And for Ashton's birthday, she made one. Imagine that, a chessboard. It was unbelievable. It was a delicacy. So back to her sense of humor. So she works hard, seems very serious, but she likes to work hard and play hard, loves games and all those things. And so we go into her house, and it's great. It's very practical, very fun, and I enjoyed it. And this is the sunroom. No, that's the zesty lemon farmhouse decor. And so I messed that up so many times I had to write it down and memorize it. So unbelievable, and then so thank you. So that was great. We had a great time at your place, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then Ashton. Ashton is what I call my favorite thing to say about workers and my son, besides being him having a great catch, is he's a lifetime learner. He likes learning all kinds of things, reading and everything else. He does that with his former roommates and me and all kinds of people. He loves to read, which is fantastic. And I'm right there with him. And when he was a kid, and Nick and Chris will probably remember this, he tried all these different things, cup stacking and juggling and different Rubik's Cubes and making different variations of Rubik's Cubes and everything else. So it was fun. And then Mentos in the bottles that blew up like that. And all the typical things, boys will be boys. And then I taught him chess, or tried to teach him chess, and now he beats me very consistently, and it's very frustrating. But he's been a great friend, and he's been a great brother. He's been a great, and I say this with all seriousness, he's been a great nephew to Cheryl, so thank you. I mean that, and he's kind of like the ambassador. He's like Switzerland. He's just his home with everybody, and so he's been. But the most importantly, his job now is to be a great husband. And as Carolyn said, and everybody else said, he'll be a good husband to you. And so now we get to the part of you. So this chapter, this is the last chapter. This is the final of the 4 speeches, the final piece. This is called joy. Okay, so we're talking about joy now. Okay. And so these guys just like to have fun, they work hard, they respect each other, they like projects. Derek stole half my speech about the table, and they're good listeners, and they're very polite, and they're very supportive of each other. And they don't even want to do these crazy things like my roommate did, John did, is host a bachelor party. They say, hey, we want to do it with our friends, they're on vacation, which sounds like it was fantastic. And so this is where we get to the end. Is so we go down to their house on Labor Day weekend, and we have the greatest time. We're eating great food, we're hiking, we're taking different hikes, we're doing different things, and we're talking, playing games, and everything else. And then we have to leave, which I'm feeling bittersweet about. Like, I don't want to leave because I'm enjoying this, but I'm going to go see my mom, which is, so I'm bittersweet. So Carolyn's in the bathroom getting ready to leave. I'm in the upstairs in the room we were staying in. I'm packing up, and I could hear Michelle and Ashton downstairs cleaning and vacuuming and doing some dishes and like a million things, and they were having so much fun. And wow, that is it was like this chills I got of just excitement, like they were so happy. It's like, that was it. That was the simplicity of the relationship, is they just loved being around each other and doing things. So that was the end of the great movie that's going to happen every day. So everybody in this room is rooting for you. And by the way, I just have to say, you're a very good looking crowd. Okay? I'm really particularly interested in the people that are either related to Michelle or Ashton for genetic reasons. Because Alice and I have been talking about this for grandchildren reasons. But you're a good looking crew. And so we hope we get the tall factors. So anyhow, but back to the seriousness is everybody's rooting for you, and we couldn't be happier. And there's so much love that is just gushing out of us that love you. So thank you.